Doing another AMA. AMA is internet speak for Ask Me Anything. Been doing a couple of these recently because why not? They're kind of fun. And it's the last week of the month, which means we always get a ton of sales questions. And you got to be shipping these things all the time and learning. So that is the game plan for today. I've got a little bit of a rant to cover first and foremost, to deal with an email that I got this morning, and I got to find that so I can read it. And then after I'm done with that, any question you might have, could be about anything that we're doing, marketing questions, live art show questions, collector list lessons, any and all of the above are fair game and fair territory. But I want to start with this quote, which I think was really interesting. And so this was an email that came from a customer, and they're going to remain nameless because I don't want to call anybody out. But what does it say? Okay. So I'm gonna quote this, and I want you guys just to listen to this for this. And I quote, here it is. And I quote, one thing that would help me greatly would be some statistics on performance of oil painters on the platform. Nick or Patrick mentioned on the live earlier today that you guys have detailed and discrete data on what works and what doesn't. While I wouldn't expect you to provide a blueprint, hence the title, for building my business, I find it very helpful to know the scope and scale of markets and volumes and content in which those dates are derived. All that said, can you let me know what the top performing 100K plus oil artists are doing? And, and if I have that information, the premise is if I have that information, then I'll be able to do it because I'm just going to copy what they're doing. And I'm here to tell you, nothing is further from the truth than that statement. I wish more than anything else that there was a blueprint, that there was a statistical model, that there was a dollar per Instagram follower, Facebook follower, email follower, that there was a magical size, that if you just knew what the size was and you started painting and offering that size, or if you knew what the best-selling media type is or the best-selling subject material. I wish there was a blueprint that I could extract from all the data that we have, but the reality is that there just isn't. Every time I try to create one or I try to look at one or try to come up with one, the data, by which I mean like all of our customers' data that we study, just ends up showing that there is no blueprint. Literally every single solitary customer has a different journey, and the different varieties of that question that get asked all the time. And the premise again is that there's some sort of magical formula that if you just know what it is, you're going to have a huge art business. And it's how many hours a week do I spend on my marketing? It's what are the best selling sizes? It's what are the hottest prices? It's what's the number one selling subject material? It is all these different variations of, if I just knew this formula, I could build a big business. And it just doesn't work in art. It just does not work. It's like trying to ask somebody, that has all these various different body types. You have a huge tall guy with a slow metabolism that's overweight, and then you have a skinny guy that can't even get enough calories in to gain any weight, or you have a medium-sized person and you're trying to like recommend a diet and exercise regime that's going to get them to a certain body type, and they're asking, well, how long is it going to take me? And you're like, well, I can't tell you how long it's going to take you because it's different for everybody, and it just is. There's some basic fundamentals that we can talk about in terms of things you need to think about, and things you need to think about in your marketing, but there's just not a magical formula. There never has been a magical formula. I don't know if there ever will be a magical formula. Art is just too differentiated. Photography is just too differentiated. There are so many different factors that go into it, that thinking if you just knew what some top seller was doing, you could extract that formula. I want it to work so badly. I mean, I can't even begin to tell you how badly I want that to work because, as a data-driven marketer, you just want to be able to give your customer a formula that they can apply, but it just doesn't work. And like the more that we study the data, the more discordant the results are based on all of these various different things, the subject material, how long they've been at it, that their marketing acumen, what portion of the country that they're located in, these various different things that are unique to them, that are advantages that other people don't have. And it's just different every time. It's different every single solitary time. So sadly, there's no magical formula. Save some good generalities, right? Like, the doctor says like, oh, I want to be healthier. And the doctor's like, okay, exercise, eat right, avoid alcohol, tobacco, firearms, maybe. Exercise frequently, get great sleep, drink lots of water, try intermittent fasting. Like all of that is general advice that's going to work no matter what your niche is. And so now let's take it to the art. Okay, work consistently on your marketing, run sales when the time is right to run sales, consistently put in the hours marketing on a day in, day out basis, and don't ever quit and stretch it over years. Like those are the things that help you build a big business, not trying to understand what, you know, someone else's business is doing and then reverse engineer it. So that's my rant. I'm hopefully going to extract that and send it to the customer in question. Ron Von Art, I know you're trying to join the thing, but I'm streaming on like 5 different platforms, and so only I would be able to hear you and see you on Instagram, and so it wouldn't work. But if you've got questions, please do leave them. That's the whole point of these sessions, which is AMA. Ask me anything. Have a marketing question. Have a Facebook ads question. Have a niche selection question. Anything you got, you can let me know and see where it goes from there. Debbie's leaving me a comment. Yeah, Debbie, I actually want to get you on a live next week and talk about your art show. I've been showing off your art show. And yeah, we need to talk about that because those results are amazing. So Debbie's a customer. She's just recently run her first and second, I believe, live art show with some pretty incredible results. You got to be pretty fired up, Debbie. And now, ideally, if you're empowered to go and run those on your own, it's going to make the biggest impact to your business that possibly is. Yep. See, you just did another one. Is that the second one or the third one? I don't know. But yeah, doing an AMA. I will be patient and waiting for your questions. Kind of like the AMAs. This is the third one that I've done, and yeah, amazing. Yeah, incredible. Like, look at that. She just did another one, Debbie, and by which we're talking about a live art shows, and she did $6,000 on the second one, which is insane. Yeah, so Araby, the artist, is asking me on Instagram, what do you think of art NFTs? I think they're very interesting. I'm very fascinated by them. We have a couple of customers that are super into them and spending a ton of time talking about them, specifically Clubhouse groups. But I believe for most people, they're distractions, Araby. They're distractions in the sense that, like, you know, everyone is buying into the premise with NFT that my art is not really selling in all the traditional ways it's supposed to be selling. And if I just rush into NFTs with that, which adds like 25 steps of friction to an art sale, that all of a sudden it's going to blow up. So I'm passionate about crypto. I'm passionate about what NFTs portend. But in terms of blanket advice, I don't think artists should go rushing and spending their time on it. If you're massively into technology and you're into blockchain and what that portends for the future of the world, then I think you should take some small portion, you know, by which I mean 5 to 10 to 15% at most of what you're doing, you know, of what you're doing in terms of your marketing, and then go study them. But I don't believe it's like a mega high leverage thing to just jump into and start doing instantaneously. So that's what I would say in terms of the NFTs. But it's interesting how they keep coming up and keep coming up and keep coming up. I really do hope they end up being the future. But you know, just like I'm sitting here talking to Debbie about her last live art show, you know, it's I have just never seen results in at least my 7 years of directly attempting to market and apply a modern marketing to selling art and photography. I've never seen results, not even close, to as powerful as the live art show. Not even close. Not even, there's nothing else that even comes close. Not warm Facebook ads, not intelligent sales, not omni-channel marketing. And sorry, Facebook or Instagram, I got a phone call, which is part and parcel of the streaming. But what else, guys? Questions? If you just joined recently, doing an AMA, you can ask anything. Good, Ron, that's a good question. And I'll just pin the questions on Instagram because it's going to remind me to go ahead and say it to everyone on Facebook. But Ron's asking, is Instagram changing its formatting? And it very well could be changing its formatting, Ron, but it doesn't matter. It's changed its formatting multiple times. It will continue to change its formatting multiple times, but don't suffer imagined troubles, is what the Stoics like to say, meaning, yeah, they might change and they might not change, and it might be a complete change. It might be good for artists, or it might be bad for artists, and time will tell on that. But it is absolutely not zero to worry about right now. you're down in the weeds, Ron, of like what's going to happen with Instagram, and you should be sort of up here, up higher, which is we are all fishermen. Okay. The fish we're trying to catch is attention. And so we go down to the docks, we get on the boat, and we drive the boat to where the fish are. You know where the fish are? On Instagram. Regardless of what they do, change things algorithmically, change the format, go more video, go less photo, all of the things that you've heard. Until they lose the attention, we still got to go where the fish are. We still got to go where the fish are. So it doesn't change anything. So that's what I would say. Okay. Ron's answering, what are the top five selling types of merchandise in terms of units sold? I actually don't have detailed information on that, Robert, but again, I don't like the premise that underpins the question, which is if I just know what the best selling merch is and I get it going, then I'll be able to build a huge business. Like, you don't know. It's going to be different for every single solitary person. So what you got to do is you have to get it up on your site, start marketing, find out what your audience likes, and then you have the answer to what is the best selling live merchandise. And I'm going to do something fun here because people are asking me about the live art show on Instagram, and people are asking me the live art show on Facebook too. I'm going to share my screen, and don't worry, Instagram, I'm not going to leave you in the cold on this. I did this the other day and it actually worked out. So you can see on the right of me is Debbie. She just left a comment. And by the way, just to give it teeth, on her second show, she sold $6,000. Okay. Phenomenal. So I'm showing, I'm going to flip the camera around so Instagram can see this. So this is Debbie's live art show, and you can see it on the right-hand side, and I'm sort of showing it off, and it's just Debbie with her art, holding it up, talking about it, and merchandising it, talking about some different pieces, some different media types, what it looks like, and what the cost is, how you can pay her, all of those various different things. And it is without question the best advancement in terms of art sales that I've ever seen. There's nothing that comes even close. I'm going to flip that right back around. And when people bring up all these other things, my job at Art Storefronts, okay, is to be a huge nerd, love and embrace digital marketing, look at every single solitary different venue that our customers are attempting to sell in, and then process the results. And then I look at the results and I say, okay, what is providing the most ROI in terms of dollars to my actual customers? Because our whole goal is to create successful customers. I mean, if you ask the majority of our customers, some are hobbyists. They don't want to be hobbyists anymore. They want a side hustle. Some have a side hustle and they want the side hustle to turn into their main hustle. Some have a full-time job and a main hustle, but they really want just their art business to take over. Some want the art business to take over in retirement. But guess what? The end of it, at the end of the day, everybody wants to derive income from their art. So, okay, knowing that, wants to get paid to be a creator, as you should. And so me knowing that, I say, okay, I need to go and find the things that are delivering the most revenue for our customers. And case in point, I could have said to Debbie, not, hey, Debbie, we want to get you over the line on running the live art show. Let's run a live art show. Debbie runs a live art show, gets the results that she does. Do I think that I could have generated $11,000 of income for Debbie selling NFTs? No, I do not. Right? It would have been way harder. Crypto is a friction-filled buying process. And so I think that is one of the most important ways, important things to be focused on. And they're just phenomenal. They are just absolutely phenomenal. And the reality is that independent of the technology that underpins how you go about doing this and streaming on Instagram, streaming on Facebook, and streaming on YouTube and doing all that collectively is the more important part, which is you're not doing this marketing right now. None of you are. And so anytime you do a new marketing initiative such as this, that is so drastically a departure from what you've been doing traditionally, i.e. sending emails, having sales, occasionally making some Facebook posts, and all of a sudden your fans, your followers get to see you live on video, holding up your art, which you've likely not done and talked about your inspiration, there tends to be low-hanging fruit as a result of it. And so, will Debbie be able to continue with those results? Perhaps. But what I know is that every time that we see somebody do this and they do it correctly and they've been doing marketing prior to the live art show, okay, they end up getting a ton of attention. They end up getting on the radar of a ton of people that didn't even know that this artist was doing this or had these pieces or had any of this going on. So it just ends up being a big, big deal. A big deal. Purple Bird Collective, should be changing hashtags in every post ish. You can. I don't think that there's that much impact from changing hashtags. I think hashtags can be helpful, but again, that's like in the weeds tactical. So that's what I would say. Like, you don't need to overstress hashtags. The hashtags is not what's going to get you over the line. It might help you here or there, but it's a fringe thing. All right, Wesley, I'm not totally sure what you're asking. Wesley's asking, which of the 3-4 ways you are supporting these Ask Anything sessions is the most effective way to get the question asked and answered. The 3 or 4 ways. I mean, Wesley, I'm turning the camera on, I'm talking, and people are asking questions. That's the most effective. The most effective thing is turning the camera on and being live, right? Like, what? Oh yeah, okay, I have no problem answering that. So distorted, sometimes it's really hard to read these Instagram names because they're so tiny. I'm going to go with distorted rainbows. Distorted rainbows is asking, if you don't mind me asking, Debbie, what platform did you post your live art show on, or did you use them all? She used them all. She used, Debbie, what did you do? You did a personal Facebook page, a business Facebook page, a YouTube page, and I believe Instagram, all concurrently. But the secret sauce, distorted rainbows, the I shouldn't be giving this secret away, but I will because no one ever takes any action on it, is everybody tends to focus on the live art show portion of the show, okay, as the main course, all right, as the whole part of the effort. But when you get the tradecraft on this whole thing and how it works from start to finish, you realize that every little step of the entire marketing effort is just as important as the live show. The live show, I would go as far to say, is almost not as important as some of the other aspects. But I know that that's crazy to hear, but every little step along the way is a massively important thing. And Wesley, no, this is not on Zoom. I'm using software called StreamYard. You can Google it. There's like 5 different kinds. It's allowing me to stream to Facebook page, Facebook group, YouTube, both of our YouTube channels, Periscope, and I'm using my phone to get on Instagram, which is no different than the type of technology one needs to deploy when they're trying to run a live art show and get as many different sources as possible. But it doesn't matter, right? Like the key is just to run one. All you got to do is run one. And for everyone that's joining that wasn't on the beginning, this is an AMA. Ask me anything. You can ask any Art Storefronts related marketing, business, pricing, niche selection, printing, streaming question that you have. If you're asking on Instagram, I will pin the comment, let you know I'm going to answer that one next. If you're asking on Facebook, I will highlight the comment. I will read the comments so that whatever platform you're on, you can hear and just rolling along in answering questions. And one other thing I can show, I got to pull it up, but since we started going crazy on running the various different live art shows, I've got to come up with a brand new piece of software for us. It's just a new page that's built into our software that essentially allows you to create a page for your live art show, okay, that takes just mere minutes. And I'm trying to get to a URL of this one, so just bear with me. That takes mere minutes to set the whole thing up. And sort of the premise underpinning it is like, okay, you need to run a live art show, right? And if that's the case, you're going to need to put all the artworks up on a page, and you're going to need to put all the artworks up on a page that instantaneously takes payment. And if you have that, then no matter where people are watching, you can say, hey, go to my page. And so the original software that we have is great for a number of things. It wasn't great for this because it just took way too long to build a page. I mean, some of these shows have like, 50 different pieces. And so I looked at it, this is probably like a month ago. I looked at it. It's one of the great things about our software is I can get things shipped so quickly. I looked at it and I was like, look, here's what I want. I want a folder, a drag and drop upload folder in which you just drop however many images, boom, you upload it all at once. It instantaneously makes a grid of all the images. You title the image. You can have a subtitle if you're so inclined, 34 by 46 on such and such substrate, right? And I might as well share the screen while I'm doing this. Then after that, let me share my screen. And Instagram, I'll do the little video move over so you can see it too. So I'm really pleased with this. So you can see this page to the right is Ashira's, right? And she just ran one a couple of days ago. And you can see it's basically, and I'm going to turn you around Instagram so you can see too. So it's a grid of images, right? And you can see some of them have sold, and you can see, look, numbers, okay, prices, sizes, mixed media, fine, and you can have a little description if you want. And then you can see there's a buy now button. And what's really cool about the buy now button is we have this little side drawer. Can you see that? Instagram, probably not. The Instagram picture doesn't look that good, but I'll send you guys a link if you want. I'll put it in the description or whatever. I'll just sort of narrate the rest of this. And so instantaneously they can check out. There's no going to a complex shopping cart or multi-step. It's just a little drawer that pops right out on the side, and you can use GPay or Apple Pay, do the instant checkout. So boom, it's just done in 2 seconds. And what's cool about it is that, you know, this is not like groundbreaking, but the minute that someone sells, the minute that someone checks out, boom, it slaps the sold onto the page, right? And then it gives you an easy way to embed the video after the fact. And then I got rid of all the nonsense on the top. So I was like, look, if somebody is coming to your live art show, the only thing I want them thinking in their mind is like, let's buy right now, right? So there's no header. There's no logo. There's nothing up here. You have your logo at the top. Actually, you're supposed to be able to make that clickable. This thing's in beta, by the way. It's not quite out yet. So you've got the title of your live art show. There's the video. So if somebody wants to watch it after the fact, they missed the show, they couldn't be on there, you can instantaneously see it. And I'm not kidding. Like, we sort of timed it. The time it takes to get these new pages spun up is like, Ashira's show had 50 pieces in it, and it took 1 hour from start to finish. The Thor, it was like, oh my gosh, like 4 to 5 hours. 4 to 5 hours. Took so much time. So really, really fired up about this. All right, so Madeline's asking, sorry if you answered this, but what platform do we need our live art shows from the broadcast all channels? First things first, you just need to run one, Madeline. So don't worry about it. Pick your cell phone up, go to whatever platform you have the most attention. It could be your personal Facebook page. It could be your Facebook business page. It could be your Instagram account. Use one phone, turn it on, start talking, do it, email the video after the fact to your list. You can do that right now today. Go and get all the pieces that you have in inventory, pick 10 of them, run a live art show this afternoon, and then send me the link. So that's what I would say. Yep. And Wesley's asking about the new gallery. That thing's slowly gonna roll along, Wesley, and we're gonna continue to test. And we've already run tests, and we've already sold thousands of dollars of art on it, which is pretty cool, pretty exciting. But it's only been in the water for a week. So my job was to tease it last week, which I did. And you know, now we're working on it. And if for those that are not aware, it's on the podcast. If you haven't subscribed to the podcast, you should. But I talked about it. We're launching a new gallery. It's in total stealth mode, and it'll be in stealth mode for a while. But you'll hear more about it in the future. More and more about it in the future. Yep, Mark, no to NFTs. I heard Mark Cuban said he made 20,000 plus feature percentages. Just because Mark Cuban did it, Mark, doesn't mean you're going to do it. He's got a huge name, and anyone would buy anything that guy sells. So it's not no to NFTs. I just don't believe it's the quickest path to revenue for the majority of artists out there. So if you're super fascinated, take 5% of the marketing hours that you have, go learn about NFTs and see if it's for you. That's sort of the blanket statement. For most people, it's not a good idea. If you're not selling art in the traditional venues, you're not going to all of a sudden rush into NFTs, and it's going to be a gold rush, which is sort of why I dissuade from NFTs. I think they're going to be a big deal in the future, but I think it's going to take some time for that to happen. And so that's the long and the short of it. Yeah, you're welcome, Mark. They're exciting on a whole bunch of different levels, but it's just not for most artists right now. It's not the number one area to be focusing on. The number one area for all of you guys to be focusing on is doing regular and consistent marketing and getting yourself ready for Q4. Q4 is Black Friday, Cyber Monday, the holiday buying season, and it's going to be massive. This one is going to be a big one. And God forbid if this terrifying Delta variant, we have members of our team that are afflicted with the freaking Delta variant. If this thing starts kicking right now, man, it's scary to think going right back into lockdowns in the exact same scenario. And so If you're an artist, you're a photographer, and you think that's at all possible, you have even more motivation to get going on your marketing, because do you think any of the normal retail sources that you're relying on, shows and fairs, local galleries, any of the above is going to be open? It doesn't feel very good. Or a local show where no one can come, like all of that is just terrifying right now. So that's what I'd say on that. But again, for those that are just joining, this is a straight up AMA. You can ask me anything on Instagram. You can ask me anything on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, anything about what we do, anything about marketing, anything about art sales, and I will do my best to answer, and answer to the best of my ability. We talked a little bit about live art shows. We talked about the fact that there is no single solitary blueprint that works for every artist or every photographer. So stop looking for one and stop thinking that you can copy somebody else's plan and it's going to work for you. It's just, this is just too different of a niche. So that's what I would say about that. But questions? I feel like this is like a timid bunch today. The last time I did this, there was like too many to handle. Maybe my timing is off on the Monday afternoon. Everyone's still slow and groggy from the long weekend, which is okay. Oh, good. How much does it cost for us to help with the live art show? I'm not sure if you're a customer, Purple Bird, or not. If you are a customer, then we do have a service in our marketing agency that I believe it's $500, I think. And that's the entire effort, but I think we're going to lower that to just do the streaming portion of the show. But don't think, Purple Bird, that you can't just run one on your own. You can absolutely run one on your own and give it a shot. All it takes is a cell phone and some temerity, right? Like turn the cell phone on, hold some pieces up, talk about them, let them know they're for sale. Let them know you take PayPal or Venmo, then they can send you a DM on Instagram. Boom, go, give it a shot, right? And that's literally it. Like everybody tries to put up all the hurdles, like of well, I'll just do it when. I'll just do this live art show when, and the hours turn into days, turn into weeks, turn into years, and no one ever does it, right? Like you got to just challenge yourself to do it. And I have a challenge that I'm initiating starting next week, Monday. So you might want to look around for that centers all around live art shows that I'm pretty excited about. So we'll have to see how that goes. We'll have to see what that looks like. But yeah, Purple Bird, you have 1,500 followers. I'm looking at your Instagram account right now. That's more than enough. This is more than enough to get one in the water. Now, the problem, Purple Bird, is as I look at your Instagram account, okay, I'm going to have to give Purple Bird some love here. And I'm just going to share the screen. Okay, hold on. I'm going to share the screen on Purple Bird Collective's Instagram account so we can talk about it. Is it on that one? Oh, yeah, I got to do this. Hold on. So here is Purple Bird Collective's, Instagram account, right? And okay, so good, clean logo, 1,500. And I'm scrolling down this. And the problem, Purple Bird, is you are utterly, totally, and completely anonymous, number one. I don't see a picture of you anywhere on any of this. Maybe you're in your stories. Let's see on your stories. No, not in your stories either. Avi Manera. I love the Gypsy Kings too. Love them. So yeah, this is your whole entire page, Purple Bird, is just 2D art, 2D art, 2D art, 2D art, 2D art. And while it might be awesome on further collection, how is anyone supposed to know who you are? You're just as much a part of the brand as the art is, but you're hiding behind 2D images. And no one buys 2D images. 2D images don't go on the wall. You know what goes on the wall? Yeah, you are anonymous. Okay. So maybe you have to be anonymous, and there's something that I don't know there, but you're definitely not going to be anonymous if you're doing a live art show. You're going to have to come out of your cave. And trust me, I was anonymous all the way up till a little bit ahead of the pandemic, and then I had to quit because I knew it wasn't going to get the job done anymore. We sort of have to be contrarian about, you have to be contrarian about what it takes to get things done in today's day and age. But that would be my advice. If you've got, you have to be anonymous, work conflict or whatever else, I totally understand that. But it makes it much more difficult. So, what you can do? Get other people to hold your art, Purple Bird, and that'll be a big difference. So Angie's asking, what differentiates you, not customer, but curious? What do you mean? What differentiates me? Ask a follow up on that, Angie, because I don't totally understand what's going on there. And so I am unsure about doing the logistics of a live with the phone and being able to respond to the comments that are coming in. Of course you are, Jerry, and you always will be until you press the button and figure out, right? Like if you're a customer, we have detailed documentation on how to do every single solitary aspect of it, where to get started, all of that. So I don't know, Sherry, if you are a customer, if you're not a customer, grab your phone, turn it on, start talking, and figure out, what's going on and what happens, and learn. And then you hit Google and you say how to run a live art show on Instagram. No, or how to do a live stream. Don't run live art show. There's no results on that. It's too new. Or how to run a live stream on Facebook with your phone, and Google will tell you step by step. Then you turn your phone on and you go. That's it, right? Boom, you're after it. And Angie's asking, what differentiates Art Storefronts from our customer? And I guess you're wondering, like, Angie, I assume you're saying, like, well, it seems like you're on here giving away all your secrets. How is it any different if you're a customer? And the way that I answer that analogy, Angie, is like, you know what I am, Art Storefronts? We're a trainer. We're a trainer that gets people in shape, right? And do you know what a lot of trainers do? They publish their workouts online. And you're like, wait a minute, why are you publishing your workouts online? You're not gonna have a business, because everyone is just gonna go and download those workouts and run them on their own, which the trainer gets a good guttural laugh on, because no one ever does that. Now, you go to the trainer, number one, so you have accountability. Number two, so that somebody's yelling at you. Number three, you're paying for it, so you're actually going to take the effort seriously, because no one's downloading the workouts and then going running the stairs and working out as hard as if they were actually with the trainer. Not even close. People need trainers. There's a reason. It's highly effective. It keeps you accountable. It gets you doing it. And so that's what we do. That's what differentiates us among all of the rest of the things. So that's what I would say to that. Okay, someone from our Facebook group is saying there will be a future ASF gallery. There is one already, but it's in super secret beta. We are learning and figuring things out, and the customers, will be aware of it before anyone else does. So don't worry about that. Mark saying, I found the hardest part was linking my artwork from my website to Redbubble or DeviantArt or whoever. Photo resolution sizes, resizing hundreds of pieces of art. How can Art Storefronts make that easy for you? Oh my gosh, do you have any idea, Mark? It's not really a fair competition, Mark, because all we do is specialize in selling images in wall art, right? And so all you do is you take your images, you drop them in a folder, one image, it will tell you all the sizes. You say, these are the sizes I want to offer. You say, these are the media types I want to offer. Done. That part is like one of the easiest things to do. It takes 2 seconds to get up and running. So, and again, like, I could go into the whole like legacy versus new software, but our software is new. Like, we're 5 to 6 years old. And so it's been built with new software engineering standards without going into the nerdy language on it all. But what it allows us to do is older software ends up being like a cruise ship, meaning like to turn takes a lot of time. The newer software is just much more agile and nimble. And so you can turn the boat on a dime. So, Mark, we've been developed from the ground up for this stuff. And so we've ironed out a lot of those problems that you're seeing on, like, the legacy stuff. So that's what I would say. And Martha Lynn Allen, average inventory consists of how much product for Black Friday? It doesn't matter. Whatever you have. You could have one piece and go into it. You could have one piece and offer the prints on one piece and go into it. So whatever you have is good to go. We'll take whatever you have. Martha Lynn, that's what it is, and get it going. You don't need, there's no magic inventory number. You don't need to paint for the next 6 months to get there. Like, whatever you have on hand, maybe you want to churn out a couple more pieces and then you get going. But the point is, yeah, you need to get ready for Black Friday, but also, the way to think of Black Friday, and this is, I love this, and I'm going back to the fitness analogy, but Black Friday, Cyber Monday, okay, in non-COVID times, it's essentially, love it, and I'm definitely using this testimonial, Debbie, thank you. Black Friday is the marathon, okay? It is a marathon, and it's coming up, okay? And we only have so much time to train for that marathon, okay? And this is specifically for you, Martha Lynn. So knowing that the marathon is coming, okay, you want to do as many sprints, short runs, 3 and 5K runs and all of that between now and then to get ready. If you don't do any of that, by which I mean specifically normal marketing, if you don't do any of that, exercise before the marathon, you're going to show up to the starting line and you're barely going to make it. You're going to conk out after a mile or two, right? So that's what it comes down to. That's what it looks like. More art traditionally is sold in non-COVID times, at least in Q4, than the other 3 quarters combined for most people. So that's just a big deal. And it's like, you're going to hear us start banging the drum on this so hard. And everyone, last year, like towards the end of it, they're like, God, will you just stop banging the drum about Q4? And I'm like, no, we will not. Because it's not just for people to sign up. Like, yeah, great. We want people to sign up. We want people to sign up all the time. The reason we bang the drum so hard is because it's hard to get our customers' attention. Like, you have to be shouting it from the mountaintops all the time. And the more we get their attention, the more they're going to take their marketing seriously. The more they're going to be ready for their Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Cyber Week sales, and all the rest of the crazy ones that we have cooked up that literally start in October, right? So that's what I would say. Yeah, Wesley, I take your point, but no one's going to be better. Wesley saying, I love the idea of live art sales, but I love the idea of someone who is good as a salesman as Patrick to be the designated master of ceremony. I agree with you on that on a certain point, but you can't see the view through the trees. What is that statement? Why do I not know that statement? Can't see the forest through the trees. Like, Wesley, you got to just try one. Nobody cares. Okay. If they walk into your gallery, you're the guy that's in there. So walk into the so talk to them, right? Give it a shot. And what you just might find is that just as a result of shipping something and actually doing the marketing, okay, you're now in a scenario where you're getting people's attention you never got before. And sometimes that's the difference alone between sales getting over the line and not, right? That's it. So that's what I would say on that. Nice. Purple Bird Collective is going to post a photo, and not just one. Start doing it on a regular basis. Purple Bird. The artist is as much the brand in today's day and age as is the artwork. Okay, that is just how it goes. Full stop. Right. And you look at Debbie on here, and I was showing her live art show earlier. Like, her smiling face and the hearts is as equal important as any of the rest. So that's what I would say. Oh, I love this question, Leo. This is going to knock my face out to read this one, but I'm going to put it up and then I'll read it for Instagram. So, do you have some sort of stats? I think I saw you earlier today, didn't I, Leo? Maybe I did. Your face looks familiar. Do you have some sort of stats on how much your members make? I understand there may be some very successful ones among the 5,000 you have, but what about the average? I understand this may be private info, but if you do have some sort of general stats, that'd be great. I think your products are extremely valuable, but I'm hesitating whether the investment will pay off. I can't see the forest for the trees. Yeah, so Leo, it is an utter, total, and complete mixed bag. And I understand why you're asking the question. And the question is extremely flawed because the premise is that somehow you can dictate your level of success based on the average of who's on the platform, or based on what, the top 30% tier is, the top 70% tier is, top 80% tier is. And none of that's further from the truth. It is such a mixed bag that, like, even attempting to like average it out, it's like, okay, drop the top one and drop the bottom one. Okay, the numbers still don't look right. Okay, drop the top 10% and drop the top bottom percent. Okay, then average it out and look right. Okay, well, they all have a different thing going on in a different media type, and there's different reasons why this one's successful and different reasons why that one's successful. And independent of trying to like get the average out of there, Leo, the more important thing is like they all have different things at play. Every single solitary person on the platform, and so many times the results do not map, okay? Do not map to anything logical, okay? And I'll give you for instance, right? Like, you weren't on this thing earlier, maybe you were. And so here's Debbie, okay? She ran a live art show. She sold a decent amount on the first one. She sold 6,000 on the second one. That gets her up to 11,000. I don't think Debbie has more than 5,000 fans on Facebook, 5,000 fans on Instagram, or 5,000 people on our email list. I might be wrong about that, but she sold $11,000 over 2 shows in 17 days. Is that normal? No, it's not normal. That's a fantastic result. But how would you explain that? How did she get those results, right? She got those results because she was working diligently at her marketing, and that's it. There's no other reason. So Leo, I would say for you, when you're on the line about the investment, whether or not your investment pays off will 100% be your level of dedication. And so if you can ask yourself, am I ready to struggle a little bit, eat some crap and dirt, be down in the gutter for a little while as I learn this marketing, take my licks, be stressed, be upset, be pulling the hair out of my head, and still go at it for a year or two, you're going to be successful 100%. If you're like, I don't know if I can do that, I'm only going to work like 2 or 3 months and then not get the results and not see the results that I want and then quit, then don't do it. It's not for you. You have to be committed to actually doing the work. Like, our program is awesome. Our marketing education is awesome. But if you don't do the work, you're not in the game. And, to be honest with you, 3 to 5 year journey to build anything of value in today's day and age, and especially on the internet. No one ever wants to hear that, right? No one ever wants to understand that concept, but it's just the truth. That's what it is on average for the majority. So do you want to build a business? Do you want to have a business and stop being a hobbyist? And you want the shortest path available? We believe we offer that. But we're not the only ones in town either, right? Like, I'm trying to do the hard sell on anybody. I'm not trying to sugarcoat the first couple of years of marketing and how hard you're going to have to work on it. You're going to have to work on it. But again, you get some people that just hit it right out of the park year one. There's no rhyme or reason to it. Like, everyone comes to bear with a different style and a different technique and a different level of marketing acumen and a different subject material. And it's just not comparing apples to apples, despite the fact primarily and by and large, it's all wall art. It's just really hard to compare one to the other. It just is. So that's what I would tell you. Yeah, Debbie has been a veteran for 27 years, which is crazy. But we have a lot of people that are in that boat that have been customers for 27 years, right? Or not been customers, rather, because we haven't been around that long, but been artists for 27 years. But I mean, I think even Debbie would tell you, like, for those 27 years, was Debbie marketing consistently on her own? Nope. Was Debbie keeping an email list and emailing it regular? Probably not. Was Debbie taking the emails and turning them into collectors because they bought multiple pieces and then treating those people really specially and following that entire business model? No, I would say probably not, right? Like, the world has changed, and the art and the photography markets are going through their blockbuster Netflix moment. They are going through their Uber taxi cab moment. Okay. They are being disrupted from top to bottom, and it is awesome. It is amazing for the artist and the photographer, because the most exploitative thing, you're not going to like this one, Wesley, the most exploitative thing for an artist or a photographer that's actually trying to build a business is not building, it's number one, not maintaining information on who is purchasing their work, i.e., why do you think the galleries don't ever give you this information? Why do you think the online galleries don't ever give you this information? Because it is the most important thing. Because an artist, if they want to make it, okay, you have to retain the information on the people that are purchasing your work, such that you can market to them in the future, such that you can build a collector list. And a collector list is quite literally the number one or number two most important metric that defines the revenue potential of an art business. And a collector is anyone that starts out, you fake it till you make it early on. Early on, a collector list is just anyone on your email list. Then it becomes anyone that's purchased one piece. And then it's become anyone that purchases more than two pieces. And then it just kind of goes up and up from there. And then you eventually draw a line in the sand. Weiland, the I don't want to be a starving artist guy. Okay. That guy, whale guy, most people would say best-selling artist in the world. He defines his collector list as anyone that buys in upwards of 8+ pieces of art. Now, he's the best-selling artist in the world, apparently, or in the United States, or some ridiculous height like that. So that's the level that he's on. Yeah, Madeline, it is you have to retain the information on your customers. Otherwise, you're going to be, all of you guys, in the same situation that happened. Normal revenue sources that you've come to rely on, but you had no control over, were all going great. Then COVID hit. Then what? Did you have a list of people to market to throughout the pandemic? If you did, it was the best year of art sales you've likely ever had. Why? Because the demand for art was the highest it's ever been, and the venues in which you could purchase it was the lowest it's ever been. The ones that understood marketing, the ones that have been building a collector list and email list and doing their marketing, were the COVID hit and they did not miss a beat. They were able to market day in and day out, right? And go like crazy. So that's how it is. Okay, Debbie has done better than I thought. She has promoted massively for all years. She just never drove the sales the way she did now. Yeah, I mean, it's hard, right? Like, to be a really good artist and a really good marketer puts you in like the 0.01% of artists and photographers. No, there's just very, very few. where that crossover is a thing. So yeah, that's what I would say. But if you're on Instagram and you're on Facebook and you're like, okay, this actually does sound interesting. This moron might actually know what he's talking about. You should request a demo, which is sort of like our test drive analogy. You get to see the software, all the bells and whistles, everything that we do. And it's easy to do that. There's a link in Facebook or YouTube or Twitter. There's a link in the bio and Instagram. And we're having a huge sale right now that ends at the end of the month. And we call it the summer sale. And I think it's one of the best deals that we've ever offered. Okay, so Leah's asking me, thanks for the explanation. I'll just add, I've had very good sales. Put this up on the screen. I've had very good sales these past 18 months. Awesome. After a 6-year hiatus where I didn't make or sell much, through my own channels and other platforms to charge a commission on sales rather than charging any money down. I do get to retain all the info on the collectors. Awesome on that. So I guess you understand my concerns. The podcasts are definitely great. Yes, thank you for that, Leo. Yeah, I mean, like, look, Leo, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be watching this if you weren't looking for more out of what you have going on. If you're selling well right now, I would say your odds of success are significantly higher if you do sign up, because you're just going to get more focused marketing, and you're going to learn more quicker. You're going to ignore the distractions, and you'll work towards growing your business where you actually own everything, which really is the whole ballgame. But good for you for coming back after the hiatus. You know, I have this joke because I run these workshops. If you've never come to one, 3 days a week, call them Art Business Workshops. They're Zoom calls. You can register. You can join one. They're free. They're fun. You know, unmute your mic, bring you on. You can ask whatever questions you like. But one of the crazy things about your guys' world that I've learned, that once an artist, always an artist, once a photographer, always a photographer. It's like Hotel California, right? Like, you can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave. This is Leo. What does Leo say? Okay, thanks for the explanation. I'll just add, I've had a very good sales these past 18 months after a 6-year hiatus when I neither made nor sold much, right? And you know, maybe Leo had kids, or maybe he tried a different job, but you can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave. Artists and photographers, for whatever reason, don't ever leave. They don't ever leave. It is straight up Hotel California scenario. And that's awesome, right? It's an awesome thing in the sense that, like, you know, you've been made to be a creator. It's what you're passionate about. It's what you're good at. It's how your brain is wired. You're not changing. So, okay, what does that mean then? That means the vast majority, you have several decades left. The majority, and some smaller portion, have 1 to 2 to 3 decades left of selling your art and photography, right? So when you contemplate that, why wouldn't you want to grind out a couple of years and get good at marketing now so you can build a real business? You know, something that can actually create income for you, take you out of the hobbyist zone, give you something to retire on and on and on and on. So that's what I would say. That is what I would say. But I'm going to get close to wrapping it up. Any final questions? All good can be about anything. And my Instagram audience is down to 3 people, guys. Oh, no. I'm so bummed. Why do I do this? Because as soon as you're done, you save it, it goes to Instagram TV, and then it gets shared to a story. And the next thing you know, for one little piece of content you created, you get 3 or 4 or 5 different bites at the apple, right? That's how you do it. It's important. It's important. But any final questions, guys, before I sign off? Yeah, so Martha, next step for you is to request a demo. There's a link on this post that you're watching on Facebook. All you have to do is click it. It's a little form. You fill it out, and then our people will contact you. Same thing for Instagram. We have a link in the bio for all the cool and jazzy stuff we do. But like Leo says, he listens to the podcast. I would definitely listen to the podcast. There's a lot of really, really good free stuff on there that's awesome, that you can put into practice right now, that are essentially the trainer posting his workouts because he knows you're not going to do them, which is why it's fun for me to give them away and talk about them in that context. But there's some really helpful stuff in there. Get you thinking in the right frame of mind, the right perspective. Okay, that's what I'd say, guys. Thanks. I'm going to be doing these AMAs all week. So as you're perambulating about the webs, the world, the WWW, if you see me on Instagram, see me on Facebook, see me on YouTube, see me on Twitter, feel free to leave a comment, pop in, ask some questions. Everybody go follow Purple Bird Collective, because they're going to start sharing posts of who they are and videos in preparation, Purple Bird, for your first live art show, which I know is coming soon, which better be coming soon, right? So, all right, guys, thank you for hanging out, and I will see you on a future one of these. I hope so.